Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Quarantine Leadership Series. I am here joined by a friend, used to be a Y contemporary, used to be the CEO of the Billings, Montana YMCA, is now in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tina Postel, who's the CEO of Loaves and Fishes, friendship trays, and I'll let her explain a little bit about that. Tina, thanks for joining us today and share a little bit of your organization.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I love my YMCA roots, so I'm always excited when I get to talk to Y leaders, but I'm now the leader of an organization called Loaves and Fishes, friendship trays. So how's that for a long title? But we were two different hunger fighting organizations. The Loaves and Fishes side of our operations, we operate a network of emergency food pantries where we're providing a week's worth of nutritionally balanced groceries to any families or individuals in need. And we decided to merge with the friendship trays side of the operation, which is our local Meals on Wheels program. So every day of the week, we're delivering prepared meals to the elderly, people who are homebound, people who are sick, just got discharged from the hospital, and they need a special prepared meal. And we do 9 different specialty diets. So we help a lot of people with chronic disease. So whether you need groceries, whether you need meals, Loaves and Fishes friendship trays, we can tackle that food insecurity issue as one organization.
Wow, what an important mission and activity that you do and service that you provide in our region. The pandemic really a lot of YMCAs to pivot and start dealing with feeding programs at varying levels. Some are really good at it, like the Asheville YMCA in North Carolina does a lot of great work. But what advice would you give to YMCAs that maybe this if they want to go deeper into with hunger issues in their community?
Well, being a former Y executive, I encourage, we're all about the mind, body, and soul, right? And you can't tackle those bigger aspirations that we want for the future of our youth development, if people aren't well fed. And so if there's YMCAs out there that want to get more involved, you don't have to recreate the wheel. There are probably pantries in your local neighborhoods that you could already partner with. We have a great partnership with the local YMCA association here in Charlotte. Many of we call them food shares, where we're sharing great excess produce, healthy foods. We're doing those in the parking lots of our local YMCAs. So the YMCAs are promoting free food that Loaves and Fishes friendship trays are providing, and people are going to a safe place, an organization that they trust, an organization that they're already frequenting. And so they simply drive through the YMCA parking lot, pop open the trunk of their car or the back seat, and we're loading up those families with fresh produce, fresh dairy, fresh meat products. And so if a YMCA association is interested, reach out to your local food bank or your local food pantry network and see if there's ways that you can already collaborate, because you have the people, right, that are coming to your associations. And I guarantee you would be shocked to find out how many of your YMCA members suffer from food insecurity, which is just regular access to nutritious food.
Yeah. So thinking of that, what stat or just fact in the world that you're in would surprise us as it did food insecurity or hunger?
Well, and I will tell you, I came from the Y world and didn't know that much about food insecurity when I took over at Loaves and Fishes, a little over 5 years ago. And the thing that shocked me was when I would come to a pantry and watch people shop for food. In my mind, when you picture that hungry person, the image that comes to my mind most frequently, or did come to my mind most frequently, was always of perhaps a panhandler on the side of the street, a homeless individual holding a cardboard sign that says, "We'll work for food." And I have to tell you, Cam, that's not who's shopping for food in our food pantries. We have working families, children, we have seniors on a limited income. So in my county here in Mecklenburg, 15% of our county is food insecure. And so that statistic blew my mind. I mean, there's so many people who suffer and don't have regular access to nutritious food. And many of them are children and seniors. So 15% or 46% of who we see at our Loaves and Fishes Friendship Trays pantries are children and seniors. They're not that homeless individual that, I was picturing in my mind.
Yeah, and we do see it at our Y. I know that anecdotally in our after-school programs, we engaged with a child who's getting in trouble at school. And when you dig deeper, their breakfast is a Snickers and a Mountain Dew, going out the door. So their only options are really what we're feeding them at school and what they're getting in our after-school program. And even our superintendent would share when a lot of people were shutting down or he was keeping kids in school during a bad weather day, his thoughts were, there's a lot of kids that need our nutritious meal before the weekend. So I've got to keep at least, so I can feed them. And, the general community doesn't think that way, didn't know that that's going on. And so
you would be amazed. I mean, you would be shocked. And it's scary to realize how many children and seniors and families who are working, but just aren't making a livable wage, struggle to put food around their table each and every day. It's definitely something that I take for granted. And so whenever I start to, feel a little too privileged or a little too entitled, I go out and I work a food share, I work a mobile pantry, and feeding people feels good.
Yeah, that's a great point. So we've had a friendship the last 5 or 6 years, and I know you're just a really passionate leader and just a dynamic leader. Peers to share a little bit about your work, but what fuels you do this every day?
Well, and I have to tell you, when I left the Y in Montana, it was my husband's job that relocated me here. I was heartbroken. I didn't think I would ever leave a YMCA because, working at a Y feels good. People come to your association, wanting a good workout or wanting great childcare, and they come in happy and they leave happy. And I thought that feeding hungry people might be depressing. I was a little bit concerned, like, ooh, can I do this job day in and day out? And I've got to tell you, it's an extraordinary feeling. Feeding people feels good. And it wasn't something I anticipated that it would be such an emotional paycheck that I receive. But every day that I come to work here, every day that I just show up and that my volunteers show up and my staff team shows up to work, I go home. When I'm driving home at night, I know that there's 300, 400, 500 families that because I showed up today are going to be able to sit around a dinner table together and break bread and have a good meal. And, that's one heck of an emotional paycheck. And that's what keeps me and my staff team and my volunteers coming back day in and day out. Every day we show up, somebody's going to be well fed thanks to us.
Man, I love that. That's my new phrase of the day, the emotional paycheck. You're great. Well, you're talented. You do such great work. I hope everybody will think about them, not just this time of year, but it is when it starts getting colder and it is the holiday season. We got to think about those families that have less and that where we can share. I think as leaders of our YMCAs, we got to find a way that to deal with this cause, hunger and food insecurity community, and what role we play, and whether we lead or supporting role. So I hope if you're watching this, look up Tina and Loaves and Fishes on her the website. Just learn more about it. Find your food trees in your community and share this with your staff and teams. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also make sure you lead with love. Tina, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. Just remember, hunger never goes on a holiday. So thank you for all you do, Cam.
Great. Thanks.